I know you guys all have a testimony that before you came to the Lord, you had a moment in your life where you're just kind of like trying hard to just live life, and life just seemed totally stressful, that everything that you did, it just felt like nothing was working. And you were broken so much down to a point where you felt, you know what, I'm unsuccessful, like I can't do anything. And then the Lord comes in and intervenes and says, you know what, cast your net. And you end up catching like what you needed. We all have a testimony. And I'll be really brief in sharing mine, because I know these guys right here, they hear it so much that they're probably sick of it when I talk about it. Her over there too. Right. But before I came to the Lord, I started getting really, really sick. And I had no idea what was wrong with me. I went to at least 3 different doctors here in the United States, and they weren't able to diagnose me at all. They had no idea what was wrong with me. So I did the next best thing. I went to Tijuana. Went to some doctors over there. Actually, one doctor went to Tijuana, totally sick, in the back of my parents' 4Runner, driving across the border. And they take me over to this doctor in Tijuana, and they do I think they call it an MRI, where they kind of scan your brain, because they're wondering if, like, all the drugs that I did back when I was like 15, 16 years old, they thought that had something to do with me getting sick. But when they did the whole MRI thing, and we looked at my x-rays and such, it turns out that my brain was completely fine. So they couldn't diagnose me. And when a doctor can't diagnose you, can they really care for you? Can they really, what's that word? Diagnose, and they can't treat you. Thanks. Praise God. It's easier. He's helping. They can't really treat you, you know? So I ended up still being sick, and it didn't matter. Like, by my efforts and my parents' efforts, we went out and did what we can to get me well, but we weren't able to do anything. So I felt like Peter, who tried all night to just try to catch these fish, and he wasn't able to do it at all. But see, there was one night where I got so sick to a point where I literally thought that I was going to die. Still didn't know what was wrong with me. It started, like, my heart started beating fast, things started getting fuzzy and such, and I felt like the Lord was reaching down to me, and because I was faithful and responding to the Lord and just reaching back at Him, everything was gone. Everything was just completely gone. And that was my spark moment. That's my testimony. That's how I knew that I wanted to walk with the Lord, and that's how I realized that He was real, by curing me of that. So what did I do after that? I just forsook everything that I lived before, forsook the lifestyle that I was living before, and just followed Jesus from then on out. That was like 6 years ago. Almost 7. Yeah, that was a while ago. And it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And this is exactly what happened to Peter here. And it's like, one thing I want to encourage you guys too is that you guys, I'm sure you know your testimony. You know it well. If we were to ask you, what was that moment that kind of sparked your interest in Jesus and where you started pursuing Him, you're going to have a story. And I'm going to ask you guys to never forget that, because that's always going to keep you close to the Lord. Always going to keep you close to the Lord.